Another full week of testing out the strategy, and it's working perfectly. The only thing is that I want to gain more experience with it, honestly, and then we can start trading back on the funded accounts. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the first time that you're tuning in. My name is Lewis, and I'm just simply documenting my trading journey. First and foremost, please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let me know how your trading journey is going down in the comments, and let me know how your trading week went as well. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Lewis, and I'm just simply documenting my trading journey. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much in the beginning of this video. I want to get straight into what this video is, and it's a backtesting session, really, where I'm just explaining what I saw this week, how the week ended up playing out, and hopefully you can learn something from this, or if you find any type of value that somebody else can use, you can send it to them and they can learn something from it as well. I am just using it to kind of backtest and refine my trading just so I can become a better trader overall. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much. Let's hop straight into the sponsor of this video, and then we'll get into the Discord and then go from there. All right, here we are in the sponsor of this video, which is Tektronix PCs. Their website is still in the works. It should be up very soon, but you can head to their Instagram, just message them, and everything will be worked out for you. You can still use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. The video should be up right here where they helped me add a new case and some new RAM to my PC. And if you didn't know, they also helped me with a new cooling system for my CPU, because my CPU cooler broke and my PC was throwing out crazy hot temperatures and I couldn't figure out what it was. I hit up my boy Mike from Tektronix and he helped me out quickly. Like, I'm talking about probably the next day, everything was all set and I had my PC back. So if you need anything PC wise, make sure you check out Tektronix. Link is down in the description, and you could also find them on Instagram. Thank you so much for the amount of support. We are growing exponentially. We already hit 1400. Hopefully by the time the next video comes out, we hit 1500, and we'll just go from there. Extremely grateful for each and every one of you who are coming through and watching the videos, man. I'm extremely grateful, even if it's just for 1 minute or one like, and I've been like that from the very beginning. So thank you so much for everything that you do. All right, here we are in the Discord. As you can see, the Discord has been very active, and I am extremely grateful for that, and I want to keep it that way. So the link is down in the description. Is a completely free Discord, and all that I ask is that you come in here and you add some value. If you're just talking, you can talk, send your trade ideas, send any questions that you have. Everybody in here is very friendly, and then we don't have anybody really race baiting or any inappropriate stuff. Obviously, I maintain it very well with the amount of people that we have in here. Right now we have about 151. I guess we hit 150, so let's go. Somebody new just did join in recently, but if you want access to everything else, like the premium lectures and the premium Discord, you could go ahead and hit join premium down here. All the information is there. If you need testimonials, the testimonials are all here. I will say it one last time, link is down in the description, and all that I ask is that you come in here and you're act. That's about all. Now let's head to the charts. All right, here we are in the charts, and I know it looks a little bit crazy, so I'm going to take the drawings away, but this is what the week ended up looking like. On the higher time frame, it was a pretty simple week. An accumulation Monday through Wednesday, we ended up manipulating with FOMC all the way up. We had the higher week on Thursday, then a dump for the rest of the week. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution, very simple. I had a lot of very good trades this week and a lot of learning with the strategy, and I'm just going to continue to get better with it. I don't know if I'm going to start trading the funded accounts this month for the month of August, but if I do decide to, I'm just going to go with the strategy because it's working very well and I'm getting really good at it, but still not as confident as I was with my previous one. And I'm not going to strategy hop anymore, and it's kind of like a mix of the strategies I was using. So I wouldn't say, you know, jump from strategy to strategy. Once you find one, stick with it and become better and more profound at it. This is kind of just an added confluence to my strategy that I added, that I have been using, and I want to continue to get better with it. But let's bring back the drawings and then we'll just get straight into the work. Here we are. Now, I don't think I have anything drawn out for Monday, even though I did trade. Now, I did take short on Monday, and I will put the video up right now, but let's just look at the structure. As you can see, we started to basically drop after Asia highs were taken, and I came in a little bit bearish just because we were in a premium from the Friday. So I thought that we would come down to a discount at least to then start to move up if we were going to move up. And I was a bit bullish in the beginning of the week, so I was expecting us to use that and just move up higher. So using the new week opening gap as well, as you can see right here, using the new week opening gap, I used that as a confluence to kind of get my targets. And then I saw that we had this down close candle down here, which is kind of an order block before the move up. So I thought that we would end up moving higher from there. So let's take a look at what the actual trade ended up looking like. So as you can see right here, I believe I took the short up here somewhere, anticipating that we would drop down, and I had an idea that we would hit that order block, like I said, using these levels down here. So I just looked for an entry, but as you can see, it was kind of terrible price action on the lower time frame specifically. I did notice that we took out this buy side liquidity up here, hitting this level, and started to reject from it. So I believe I entered a short, I think it was in here inside this inverse fair value gap. I I entered a little early, so I entered like there, right here on this inverse, and I believe I had my stop above this or 10 points, and I was targeting obviously down here because I was gonna line up with the standard deviation of Asia. So that's the trade that I took right there. Is basically a 7R just off of that. It was very simple, nothing crazy. I saw this crazy choppy price action and I decided not to get involved at all until I saw us hit some type of level. I didn't catch the short here, which I guess you could have been trying to catch somehow. Yeah, I don't know how you would have caught the short. Honestly, I missed it. It is what it is. It happens. And I know we had news at 8:30 if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, I saw us come up to these fib projections and then just decided to take a shot at the shorts just because we looked pretty shaky for long since price action was very choppy. I was like, let me just target the order block and see what they do from there. And that's what I did. So that's the first trade that I took here on Monday. Now let's move on to Tuesday. Now I don't remember too well what I took on Tuesday. I don't even remember if I took any trades on Tuesday. I think I might have been taking longs in here, if I'm being 100% honest, but Tuesday was very tricky. I honestly think I might have been trying to take longs in here, so I don't remember exactly what happened on Tuesday, but I do know that this move up here on Tuesday started the move down, so that kind of helped me here on Wednesday with FOMC tracking where it would go. And FOMC, I had a crazy trade. Make sure you stay for that because I took a paper trade on FOMC and that was crazy. That was ridiculous. But here on Tuesday, it was pretty hard to figure out what levels they were going to try to use just because we had nothing to the upside really, apart from, I believe, especially since we were at all-time highs. So it was kind of weird to anticipate exactly where price wanted to go here on Tuesday. But yeah, I missed the short, if I'm being honest. I guess the 3 probably ended up getting hit here on the London standard deviation. I guess looking back at it now, these levels did work here for a pretty good entry, especially if you got it like around the -2.5 of the standard deviation. But I didn't catch that. I honestly probably was looking for longs down here, and I'm not sure. I think I took a long in this area to head higher because there was a 1-minute rejection block, if I'm not mistaken, or this inverse fair value gap here. Yeah, I remember I took it here and then they came back and took me out break even. It was here on this. I thought price was going to continue higher. I had a 10-point stop. It was below, just below this fair value gap, and I was targeting, I believe it was either midnight opening price. I think it was midnight. Yeah, I was targeting midnight opening price right here, and then they came back down and stopped me out at break even and then just continued to chop for the rest of the day. So yeah, that's what happened on Tuesday. Now looking back, I'm going to go back test this myself, actually now making a mental note for Tuesday just to have these levels because they did line up. I didn't see this at the time, but there was some good levels here, and then there were a couple of inverse fair value gaps here on Tuesday, but an amazing level there, especially with the rejection block. You could have took this here off the 2 and then shorted them at the rejection block CE or just at the rejection block when they came back here at 940. Could have got away with a 3-point stop, but you know me, I like my 10 points just to have a safer stop in with this model, and then could have targeted easily this low down here, or the standard deviations right here, as you can see from Asia as well, which could have been options. The 1, the 2, and even the 3 on the same day did get hit, but it is what it is. Those are the trades. If you just wanted to use it as a regular confluence, like I said, you don't have to be top and bottom ticking. You could have took this entry here on this inverse fair value gap once this candle closed and had your stop above this for 16 points and then, you know, wrote it down, targeting whatever you were comfortable targeting at the moment. But like I said, that's what happened on Tuesday. Now Wednesday was a very good trade just because it started the move here on Tuesday and then continued to go towards Wednesday, and then that helped me out on the trade that I took for FOMC, and I have to find it in the Discord because it was a banger. This was the trade that I took on FOMC. Actually went a little bit crazier after this. I think it got up to like 7,000 some change, and I closed it on there. I'll send the screenshot right before I closed, but it did get crazy range. It was like 200 points off of this entry, and I'll talk about why I got this entry and how I got it. But like I said, Tuesday helped me out for Wednesday because I knew I had something to kind of gauge it off of, as you can see here, and the -2 helped very much with the standard deviation here on Wednesday. Closed basically at the -2.5 if I'm not mistaken. Once it got up to there, or right before then, it was about 7,000 profit. Let's take a look here. We dropped back inside this 4-hour fair value gap here. I believe it was a daily level if I'm not mistaken as well. This daily order block we end up coming down towards. That kind of helped me, and that's basically what I based this long off of. Apart from other standard deviations that I did take off. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about standard deviations and how I'm trading now, just because I want to make sure that I keep it for the people in my Discord. And once I master it more, I don't want to talk about something that I haven't fully mastered. But as you can see, very nice levels down here. Just using the Asia standard deviations, you could definitely get a bunch of other deviations here through what was happening before to get more levels down here. But the Asia standard deviation actually helps very much. If you can see, that's a nugget that you can use. But let's talk about the entry that I use. Like I said, I had already framed this long. From the day before, using the standard deviation from Tuesday. Then coming in here, I found standard deviations to lead me down to the daily order block and the 4-hour fair value gap. So I thought, okay, price could come down here, and that's my point of interest. Once price did come down here, I took the trade off of the halfway point of the 1 minute rejection block. Very simple. Took my entry there and then had my stop below the low, which is a 13-point stop, kind of bigger, but 10 to 15 is what I go for in terms of my stops. And then it did this. It was chopping around a little bit. I actually turned off my charts and I went and took a nap. And then when I woke up was where you saw the screenshot, and price was already all the way up here. Yeah, it was going crazy. That's when I decided to close, because it was going crazy. And that was just with one contract, but that's kind of the confluence that I had. The day, basically, like, everybody kind of knew the day was just an accumulation, manipulation, distribution. They manipulated at 2 o'clock with FOMC, and then around 2:30 and the rest of the afternoon was where they distributed. So FOMC is just something that you want to trade discretionally. Make sure that you aren't putting on too much risk, and if you are trading it, make sure you wait till after 2:30, because that's when the move that they're kind of manipulating from is going to show up. And it's very simple. It did show up there. And as you can see, there's also a bunch of different ways that you could kind of get your levels, but this is just an example of how I used them to find this area, as well as, like I said, the other standard deviations that I had set from the day before. Yeah, that's what happened on Wednesday. Let's move on to Thursday. All right, Thursday I had a long. I was completely wrong on direction on Thursday. I thought we would continue higher, but like I said, manipulation with FOMC on the higher time frame. The weekly candle, for example, Wednesday was just a, they have intraday manipulations, or AMDs, and then they have weekly AMDs. For the weekly AMD, Wednesday to Thursday was just manipulation with that big move up, and then they distributed lower. As you can see, all London session, they just continue to distribute lower, or not London session, all New York session early before market open, they just continue to dump and dump and dump. And my levels lined up very well, and I kept getting break evens on this day because I just had the wrong narrative. I had the wrong idea on this day. Honestly, I thought that maybe we could use this. I think this is a 4-hour CE right here, this line, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look real quickly. Yeah, it's the 4-hour inverse CE, or this inverse fair value gap CE. I thought that we would use that as a level of support to start moving higher, but obviously price just continued to hit higher. And I apologize for all this commotion on my charts, but this is just how I got my levels on these days. And like I said, I had levels lining up around here, and then I saw that price ended up rejecting off of that level, and I kind of caught like a bottom tick. I'll put the video up right here, but it was an extreme bottom tick. As you can see here, I kind of entered just off the level and had a 7-point stop. I think it was a 10-point stop, and then I moved it, but then they had a 2-minute rejection block. Yeah, they had a 2-minute rejection block, came back into the rejection block, and that's why I have that square there. And then they just continued to pump. I was just targeting 95 points above this high. They continued a little bit higher and hit the CE of that inverse fair value gap, and then dump. But that's the trade idea, just taking the trade off of that. Like I said, had the wrong narrative on this day, but that didn't stop me for Friday. But yeah, that's what happened on Thursday. The trade already went up, so if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments or in the Discord if you're in the Discord, and I'll maybe explain it in there. But let's move on here to Friday, which is the last day of the trading week. I caught a short, and then I don't remember if I don't think I took any other trades after that. I caught the short on Friday and just got off. I think I was just marking up this level because it did hit on this entry, and then it just continued to do this, as you can see. But this level down here was a old low, and that was what I was targeting on my short, and that's the video that I posted. I didn't take the long. I was just marking it out because I was doing some back testing, because I think one of my cousins sent me that trade for longs, and I was like, that kind of looks like a good long, but I didn't know what to target, so I never like really finished it. But I didn't take the second trade. This one I didn't take. It would have been a good trade though. Definitely could have secured a good amount of points on here. Yeah, 200 points. What? That's crazy. But like I said, 250 points basically right here. You could have definitely secured a good amount of points. That was an amazing trade, but I didn't take that. I took the short here. I had missed the level for the shorts up here, which happened at 8:30. Once I realized that I had missed the short, I was like, okay, let me see what I can find. And then at 9:30, they just dumped, and I was like, they've been extremely bearish the past 2 days. Let me just take a good entry. And I wanted price to come up into this up close candle to send it lower for the order block, but I saw that I don't know how to explain it. It could just be market experience, but I was like, yeah, they're gonna dump from here. So they make this big up candle, making everybody everybody think that they're gonna go higher, and a lot of people were taking longs here, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait. Then they start to just dump, and I was like, okay, let me take the short there. My stop was originally up here, then I moved it above this 13 points, and then it just dumped. And I was just targeting the standard deviation from this, which lined up perfectly with that low and with the levels that I had here. So that's why I took the short on that day, and then the long ended up showing up, but I didn't take the long. I just marked it up because it looked very interesting and it looked like a very good long, and it did. Like I said, 200 points is probably more than what I caught, honestly. I think I caught 177. Yeah, I caught 177, so 200 points on this would have been fire, honestly. So if you caught that, kudos to you. But that is the end of my trading week. If you have any questions, like I said, let me know down in the comments, and then we could figure it out. I'll let you know as much as I can on there. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about this strategy too much because I want to master it myself before I make any public announcements on it. Make sure you join my Discord, and let me know if you have any questions in the Discord as well. If you're going to join, just be active. That's all that I ask. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say. Make sure you check out Tektronix, who sponsored this video. Links are down in the description, everything there. Use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off on anything that has to do with a PC. Make sure you stay tuned and check out the next video, which I don't know when I'm going to start trading the funded accounts again because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to leave for the weekend, so I'm not too sure if I'm going to start next week or if I just wait till I come back, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's everything that I gotta say. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_. Follow me at TikTok at LewisVisuals. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.